Hello, everyone. You are welcome to today's edition of Retirement Clues. I remain the promoter of this program, Mr. Chusudo Konta, and the publisher of Eastpen Online. Today, we thank God for another opportunity He has given to us to come your way. Just as we said last week, we are still looking at the activities of the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, and today we want to look at what they are doing in the area of managing the retirements of police personnel. And the topic we want to actually consider says how PTAD is managing police retirement. How PTAD is managing police retirement. That is the topic we have today. Before we go into the discussions, and let's just bring to you some news items that we have. We got to know from PTAD that presently on their payroll they have uh, 229,326 pensioners that are earning their monthly benefit from PTAD. These are the number of pensioners that they have on their payroll that they pay. And this will cut across from the parastatals, from the public civil servants, the police, the custom, the prisons, and other government agencies. Then that is for PTAD. Then we got to know from PENCOM that presently solely 4 states that are faithful in remitting their workers' pension contributions, and these 4 states are just Lagos, Kaduna, Edo, and Benue. They are just the only states that are remitting and faithfully remitting their employees or workers pension contributions, though they are up to like 8 with their FCT. But other states such as Delta, Ondo, Ekiti, Osun, those ones are having backlog of unremitted pensions, and that is why we tag them to be unfaithful. Even the Federal Capital Territory, they still have backlog of unremitted pension contributions, and we know this may not be too good, at least for out of 36 states and the FCT, just only 4 states are faithfully remitting their workers and pension contributions. PENCOM still came up to let us know that as of January, the pension fund assets was 13.61 trillion. As of January 2022, the pension fund assets, total assets of the pension fund is was 13.61 trillion. That was as of January 2022. Then a good one too. Yesterday, that is within this week, we learned that PTAD opened their liaison office in Ibadan. That is just to help attend to pensioners within that state and neighboring states. Is a good one. I think they are bringing the operations very close to the people that they are meant to serve. These are just the news items that we have for you today. Then going into the topic that we have today, just as I've highlighted earlier, how PTAD is managing pension like police retirement. How PTAD is managing police retirement. From information obtained from PTAD, we got to know that the police pension office, which is the PPO, was initially established by Decree 75 of 1993 as an extra ministerial department under the Ministry of Police Affairs and existed as such up till November 2013 when it became a department under the newly established Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, which is PTAD. So the Police Pension Department is responsible for the payment of gratuity and pension of police personnel under the defined benefit scheme. And let's just quickly look at who are those police officers that PTAD is actually taking care of, because it is very, very important that we highlight this, because we have police officers that are under the defined benefit scheme. Those are those people that were before the CPS, the contributory pension scheme, came. And many of us that are following the trend, you know that there have been agitation by police personnel that they want to return back to, you know, where they were before the contributory pension scheme came. Let's look at the officials, the police personnel that are under the management of PTAD. According to PTAD, is an officer who was officially recruited into the Nigerian police force is eligible for pension under the defined benefit scheme administered by PTAD if he or she fulfills the following conditions. These are the conditions that an officer must meet before he or she, you know, will be taken care of by PTAD. Number, it says must have served in the Nigerian police force for a minimum of 10 years before March 31st, 1977 and attain 45 years of age. That means for an officer to be under PTAD, that person would have served Nigerian police force for a minimum of 10 years before 31st March 1977 and attain 45 years of age. So he must have served 15 years from 1st April 1977 to 31st of May 1992 and attain 45 years of age. That is another qualification. So he must have served 10 years from 1st June 1992 to 30th June 2007 and attain 45 years of age. You know, the cutoff for those in under PTAD are just 2007. That's why it's coming up. Every government worker that retired from 2008, they are under the contributory pension scheme. Is an officer who was compulsory retired by the federal government for reasons of the organization or public interest on or before 30th June 2007, and it's a next of kin section section 6, that widows or children under 18 years whose husband father died in active service in line of duty. You know, that is one good thing that I love about what PTAD is doing. We'll get to that, what they're actually doing about the widows of deceased police officers and their children. I was very happy when I saw what they were doing in that regard. The categories of pensioners under the police pension department say regular police personnel, including major cases, due pensioners, war-affected retired police officers, and next of kings, the next of kings of these police officers. These are the people. Let's just quickly look at another session in what PTAD is doing, and I love this session very well. So what are the entitlements? What are the entitlements of these police officers? According to PTAD, it says police officers who die naturally while in service are entitled to gratuity and 5 years accrued pension. That is, an officer who dies naturally, maybe in the course of service, the person died with sickness or you know, died through an accident or any other thing. That person, the family will be entitled to, you know, That we have gratuity paid on his behalf, and 5 years accrued pension payment. So police officer who retired and died while processing their retirement benefit are entitled to gratuity and 5 years accrued pension. That is police officers who retired, and when they retired, they've not actually start earning their monthly pensions. They are entitled to gratuity and 5 months pension accrued, right? The accrued is accrued pension. It says police officers who retire and have received gratuity but die before enrollment for monthly pension are entitled to 5 years accrued pension. Police officers who retired and maybe they have gotten their gratuity and they were still processing their monthly pension benefit and the person now died, the family will be entitled to 5 years accrued pension. That means for 5 years, they have to pay their accrued pension. It's officers who are already on monthly pension payroll but have not received up to 5 years pension before their death are entitled to balance of pension for the remaining months or years as applicable. That means officers who are already have gotten their gratuity and they were earning their pension benefit, but they've not earned their pension benefit up to 5 years. The balance, from when they passed on, if they passed on maybe in the second year, the 3 years that is remaining will be paid to them as pension and accrued pension. That is about this area is what I love most. That is what PTAD is doing, and which actually concerns the family of maybe deceased officers. It's an entitlement under the next of kin. It said the deceased police officers' entitlement are to be paid to the next of kin. That is the children, the child, the children, and the wife. That is, if the police officer have died, the benefit, like those accrued pension we are talking of, or if the gratuity has not been paid, it has to be paid to the children. So apart from the gratuity, the widow and the children, maximum of 6 are entitled to monthly pension. I love that one. Because if actually it sustained, it will really, I know it really boost, the morale of police people, that even when somebody dies, the wife is still entitled to pension. Not that the woman work as a police officer, but because of the service of the husband, or the wife, if maybe the wife was the one that died, the service of the spouse, the widow or the widower is entitled to pension, and the same thing applies to the children. I say maximum of six children will be entitled to pension. And how do they distribute this? They say 1/9 of his accrued pension until each of the children attains 18 years of age. That means if the police officer dies when the children are still very young, the children will be entitled to his accrued pension right, accrued pension. 1/9 of it will be paid monthly as monthly benefit to the children. Say maximum of 6 children until they got to 18 years of age, just to take care of them. And while the children are earning their own too, their mother, if it's the man that dies, their mother still has something to earn. But if it's the father that died, that is, if the father dies, the mother has something to earn. If their mother that died, the father has something to earn. It says 1/3 of his accrued pension for the widow if she remains unmarried and of good character. That means it says as long as the widow lives, she will be earning 1/3 of the accrued pension of the deceased if she remains unmarried and of good character. That is just to cushion the effect. We found some police posts, maybe they died and they don't just give them anything. But those that retired or that under PTAD, I think they are actually being taken care of. Maybe our next topic, we'll go and look at those that under the contributory pension scheme, and we want to actually balance it. Let's see if there are some things that we can actually import from the DBS into the CPS, because I know that those in the CPS, most of all these things that we are highlighted here, most of them, they are not benefiting, and that is why they've had agitation that they want to return to the DBS. We'll balance everything and see why they are actually reviewing the law. If there are some things that they can lift from this DBS and bring into the CPS, so that at least the police officers will be happy. We want to stop on this note. We want to thank you for giving us your attention. By the grace of God, we'll still come your way. We are not done with this police issue. That is what we are going to consider in our next episode. Thank you for giving us attention. I'm Mr. Chusudo Okonta, and if you want to reach us, our numbers are 08054269557, 07033253527, and email address is ispenonline@gmail.com. Thank you, and by the grace of God, we'll still come your way in the future.